Tom O'Connor is a senior foreign policy writer at Newsweek. He joins us from New York. Tom, even before this war, Russia controlled, what, more than 10% of Ukrainian territory, right? So after 100 days to gain 10% more, that's not exactly a glowing victory, even though it is a sizable portion of the country.
Sure. And I think we have to remember that Russia doesn't necessarily have to win this war for Ukraine to lose it. I think part of Russia's calculus here is to ensure that Ukraine is suffering economically, and disruptions to its society. These sort of things can have a lasting effect on Ukraine. And I think Russia is betting on the fact that it can weather a long-term crisis better than Ukraine can, especially even in the sense that Ukraine is now dependent very much on outside support. If there is a ceasefire of some sort that has Russia in its current positions, Russia will be able to say at home, well, we did take the territories that we set out to get, and that could perhaps even split some of the Western support to Ukraine in the event that there is a low-level hostilities continuing.
So let's say, even with the influx of new Western weapons to Ukraine, Russia is able to take the entire Donbass. What do you think happens next?
Well, I do think that there is some sort of a stalemate that both sides are realizing will be the case in the relatively near future. This could be months, of course. We don't have an exact timeline on this, but I think both parties right now really are vying to have that stalemate and shape it in their favor right now. And at the current time right now, Russia does seem to have regained some of its momentum in this Donbass region. We're hearing President Zelensky's language having shifted over the past month, what it seems to be preparing the Ukrainian people to understand the gravity of the situation. There has not been the sweeping victories or Russian retreats that we saw in other parts of Ukraine earlier in the conflict. Right now, Russia has been gaining ground and entrenching itself in this part of Ukraine.
However, only days ago, there was this report coming out in the UK press, allegedly from a leaked government assessment of Russia's military, predicting that the entire Russian military could collapse in the near future. Pretty interesting after 100 days of war.
Yeah, well, I think at this rate that a Russian military collapse would be the only thing to stop Russia's gains, short of a ceasefire of some sort, short of some sort of ability for President Putin to declare victory. Now, I don't see Russia's military collapsing anytime soon. That's not to say it's not facing serious institutional failures and crises, just as the Russian economy is due to sanctions. But we also have to look at what Ukraine's going through as well, at being dependent on outside support, losing what President Zelensky said a couple of days ago was 100 soldiers a day, something to that effect. I mean, this is having a devastating effect on Ukraine as well. So I think that Russia, again, is betting on the fact that it can weather this crisis at almost any cost through blood and treasure in order to attain some sort of victory it can declare at home. And hopefully, for Russia's sake, be able to split the Western support for Ukraine and put this situation in Russia's favor.
All right, Tom O'Connor, good to talk to you.